welcome to the show. We have a Queens artist, producer, singer, rapper joining me here for Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 65, iHeartRadio, Mad Max Radio. Her new album, New Moon, available the 22nd. It'll be on all platforms. You can check out IKEA now. You can go check out that's a new single, one of the new singles that's out right now. Welcome to the show. How's everything going?
Thank you. Everything's going good. I had it was wet outside. I just got in from the rain not too long ago. But I'm okay now.
Yeah, no, so did I. It was pouring earlier all over the place. So I know we kind of needed it. It's been pretty hot the last couple days, but
Hmm.
yeah, definitely was unexpected. But how's everything going? How are you feeling about this year? Because you got something big planned up with this album, New Moon. I'm looking forward to it. Your fans
Thank
are as
you.
well. So how are things looking for you this year?
It's been a really great year. I can't complain. I've had a lot going on, as you probably know already, with like the singles dropping and
Hmm.
just getting ready for the album release in general. My manager and I, Marvel, have just been putting a lot of work in, and we're really happy with the results. So we're just excited to like share it with the world.
And you've been doing this for a while. I mean, because you had a name change. We're going to get into the early history, of course, of what you've been doing. But does this year feel different than the others? Because you released a lot of EPs since the beginning of your career.
Definitely feels a lot different. I've been doing this a really long time,
Yeah.
probably since I was like 19 and I put out my first project, and I'm 30 now. So I've definitely seen immense growth. And it just feels right, like I feel like I was younger and I was like making music, but I wasn't really sure of the direction I wanted to go in and who I was. But I feel so sure of myself now. I feel very confident in who I am and who I've become, and I'm just ready to take the next step. So
No, I could tell just by all the freestyles that you've been doing recently. I checked those out online. I know you're ready.
thank
Your
you.
performances, I saw those on YouTube, of course. So I did because you mentioned you're 30. I think this is something that a lot of artists get discouraged with is age. So what's some advice you give to people as far as ageism? Because I look at artists like Griselda, where they
Mhm.
kind of went against the grain to make it seem as though age doesn't matter anymore. And I don't think it should. As long as you're talented, you shouldn't be boxed out because of your age.
Yeah, I think the age of artists is a very dated concept. Like, I think, like, I see people all the time talk about like the next hottest, newest thing. And like, I've worked with a lot of people and been in spaces with people that are a lot younger than me. And, I feel like everybody is on their own individual path and on their own individual journey. And it doesn't make sense to be discouraged when there's so much opportunity, around. So I don't think anything of it. I honestly don't feel old. I mean, people,
Yeah.
I feel like people, it's the cool thing to like dunk on people that are like born after 2000. I'm born before 2000 now. But I mean, I don't feel any older than I did before I turned 30. I don't think. And when you're young, you're like, oh, when I turn 30, I'm gonna have XYZ. Da, 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 da. I'm like, in the economy we're in now, um, you can just call yourself lucky to have a roof over your head and something to eat. So I feel totally fine in my comfortable in my age and in my skin, and I'm not about to let some internet trend or whatever generation war, like I'm not about to let that phase me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm totally comfortable being 30. And
No.
I think everybody else that is like wondering what path to take, just don't let age be the thing that phases you or keeps you from achieving a goal. It's stupid.
I agree with you. I think it's ridiculous. I think like you said, everyone's career is different, and we should stop dunking on people that were born in the '90s because at the same time, that's the best era to be born in, especially musically. And you had a lot of influences in there. Jill Scott, your sister, put you onto a lot. So, have you been able to meet any of your influences so far, networking and moving through the industry?
So I have not met Jill Scott and Erica yet. I actually saw them live though for the first time. I think a couple years ago. I saw both of them in the same year because my cousin had got me tickets to Erica Badu's concert, and then my brother surprised me with Jill Scott concert tickets. So being able to see them live was really like surreal because I've just been listening to their studio albums like almost my whole life. And it just made me feel like anything is possible. I know that one day I'm gonna cross paths with them. I'm very confident in that. And I believe heavily in like, I don't know if I'm even quoting it right, but like 7 degrees of separation or whatever it is, where it's like you're never too far away from the people you want to, meet or whatever. So I just know one day I'm going to cross paths with them. I'm not even sweating it. I'm not rushing it, forcing it. It'll happen naturally. And when it does, it'll be the right time. So.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Queens right now musically? Because I always say that we have a lot of artists there, but we need more because we got a lot of legends. You got a lot of legends in Queens. I went to school out in Queens at St. John's, so I always refer to we because I lived there for so long. So how do you feel about the current scene of Queens musically?
So I don't know too many artists from Queens. Because when I was coming up, I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. That's kind of where the base of my network is. I would love to meet more people from Queens that make music. I just haven't like been in a situation where I know everybody yet, but I do know a few artists that I'm really cool with. Wavy Bagels is a really dope producer and artist. And I hate these kinds of questions because I always blank and forget. But I'm sure there's a lot of talent coming out of Queens, and I'm guilty of not doing enough deep diving and research, but once I get the names right, I will absolutely always shout them out. But I love Queens, and Queens is home to some super iconic artists. I'm like from down the block where LL Cool J is from, Tribe Called Quest, Run DMC. So like that's historic towns for me. You know what I'm saying? St. Albans, Queens Village, Cambria Heights, like all Hollis, all those areas are super legendary, super important to hip hop. And I'm just glad to be from a place that is so authentic and so cool.
Have you been to? I'm sure you have. Have you been to the murals? So like the Jam Master Jay mural. Have you been to any of the
Yeah, I
legendary
mean,
murals? Yeah.
we pass by them all the time.
Yeah.
There's also like St. Albans was also super popular like for jazz musicians during a certain era. It was like um I don't want to say like the Black Beverly Hills of Queens, but it's essentially like that. A lot of like famous people like lived in the older homes over there. So there's a lot of really big houses that were like considered to be like the really upscale houses for Black musicians at the time. And they have a huge mural on like Linden Boulevard in St. Albans that's like dedicated to them. So a lot of history in that city. In
There
that town.
definitely is, especially with Brooklyn. Especially you're in Brooklyn, they got the Biggie mural, Old Dirty Bastard. I went to those last year, so yeah, that was
Mhm.
definitely monumental to see those. Especially there's a lot of hip hop history in New York for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about this newest single? Because you're working with Saba. So how is it working with Saba?
So Saba and I have known each other a pretty long time. Just like through like internet, just connections. And I was telling somebody the other day how I believe how they found me was through Squeak Pivot, rest in peace to Squeak Pivot. I had when I was going under my previous moniker, I had a song called Blue Light that I had put out, and I believe Squeak was the first person from Pivot Gang to ever really interact with me. And I did some deep diving into like Pivot Gang, and I found Saba, and I fell in love with like Comfort Zone and the music that he made, and we had just been connected ever since then because I was always vocal about being a huge fan. And we had met in person in like 2017 or 2018, one of those years, and I had invited him to a show out in Brooklyn. And that's kind of just how we got more familiar with each other. And then fast forward, I saw him again at No Name Sundial Block Party, where she had a bunch of. I had been performing with Navy Blue because he had opened for her, and I ran into Saba then, and we said the next time we see each other, we're gonna make music. And we saw each other 2 weeks later at Afropunk, and then we just decided to randomly go to the studio after Afropunk, and that's how we made that song. So yeah.
Fire. Yeah, it's definitely that's the one I have it in my rotation. And I was even talking with Sean too, because we were talking about how it kind of reminded us a lot what you working with No Name, that Chicago style, especially with Chance. I know we were going back and forth from the thread about that. But yeah, I could tell. So what's this album really going to bring for us? Because New Moon, I feel as though this is a new version of yourself. Is that kind of what you're alluding to with this new album?
Yes, I heavily believe in the idea that you can live 100 million lives if you so choose. You can start over at any point, and every day is a new chance to be a new version of you. Um, and sometimes uh, we may make certain decisions, or we may like have we may form bonds with people or like form attachments to people, and those things may make you doubt yourself or question yourself, or your self-worth. Like I talk about a lot of I really go over a lot of topics on the album. I talk about love and the difference between like love and limerence, and your attachment to people and how it affects you and your self-worth and where I am. I just talk a lot about where I was in life when I was writing this music. It's very personal to me. And at the end of it, I really just want people to feel like, hey, like you can do anything, you can start over. Even if you're not happy with where you are, you can always start fresh and begin again. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I agree. You could start over at any point, and I'm curious to see, especially just to hear your story, because we know the whole dating scene now is just a total dumpster fire. Are you kidding me? You know,
Yes. Yeah.
it's unbelievable when you look at it. But how
Terrible.
is it being an artist and trying to really, because I look at it as someone that's in the field in entertainment as well. It's hard to really connect with people that aren't in the field because they don't
Yeah.
understand your way of life. And a lot of times you might get around the wrong people and they may use you or whatever. So how is it
Mhm.
trying to really kind of balance of trying to, live a normal life at the same time being in the entertainment industry?
Um, it can be a bit hard dating somebody that doesn't understand. Because like I have, I've always kind of been the person, like the creative person, like in my social circle. Like all of my friends have regular jobs, like at hospitals, and they constantly on the move, constantly having to like, seize any opportunity that comes your way. Like you're essentially a gig worker. And in the entertainment industry, you're often working late nights, you're working with people of the opposite sex frequently, like, and for somebody that is not used to that lifestyle, they can get very insecure very quickly and things can bubble over and there's a lot of misunderstanding involved. So it can be tough, but honestly, it's just as tough dating somebody that is in the industry too, because, you know, I feel like people, especially people that are like deep in the arts, they're very emotional people. I myself am a very emotional person, and sometimes that doesn't mesh well with other emotional people. So it's always a challenge. But I do like to date other artists. So I tend to like lean that direction. But I've tried to date the normal guy before. It didn't really work out. I don't really know. They all suck equally, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's bad out here, and especially with the phones. It's like no one's satisfied. Everyone's cheating on each other. There's all these
Yeah, and it's
options.
just
It's a
it's like
mess.
hyper surveillance as well. Like
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like everybody's checking to see who's online, when the last time you read my text, when the last time you responded. It just becomes this like we were never meant to talk this frequently and talk to this many people in a day, And it's even worse with like dating apps. It's like you start a you start a conversation with somebody and it goes nowhere, or like you're just swiping for the instant gratification, for the dopamine, And I hate that. Like every time I get on a dating app, I like swipe for like 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And I just immediately delete it because it's just like, what is the real reason I'm swiping? Is it to meet people or is it to like judge somebody based on their photo and nothing else? And a
Hmm.
couple generic questions. I don't like meeting people that way.
No,
So
yeah, it's definitely awkward. I prefer the old way. I wish they'd get rid of these social media. Some of these social, we need them. It's like a necessary evil, but it's
yeah,
definitely it's ruined relationships completely. And
it's
then,
definitely
y-
become a necessary evil. And it definitely ruins relationships. I think people just they like to take advantage of the accessibility to people.
Mhm.
And it's like it's so ironic because everybody wants to talk to everybody, but nobody has any social skills in real life. And I think the best way to meet people is to meet them in person and really like vibe off of like your body language and the way you say things. Like I hate texting. So I don't like being the person that just communicates solely through text because I feel like so many things get misconstrued and lost in translation, and tone is so important. But yeah, you can't get that from a text convo. You got to feel them out in person. That's what I believe anyway.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's too much now, and it's basically like an audition. That's how I look at it.
Yes.
You're
Yeah, it's
auditioning.
extremely performative because you're showing your best self in like 6 pictures and 3 question responses, or like based on your Instagram feed or your aesthetic. People make assumptions of you based off of what they see online, but it's so much more nuanced than that. People are more nuanced than that, and you shouldn't like everything should be taken with a grain of salt. And everything also on social media is fake as fuck. That is
Mhm.
something else that people have to remember. Like a lot of this shit, people be lying, people be homeless. Like, and that's not a bad thing to be homeless, but people will portray a certain lifestyle that they don't live in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just like don't believe everything you see and judge people not based on what you see on their Instagram profile or their Hinge profile, but the content of their character, quite literally.
Yeah, too much deception, kind of like which you mentioned there. They'll tell you one thing that, oh, I'm this, and then they do the completely opposite on social media. And I'm sure you've seen all the Bible quotes everywhere. I'm not going to really go deep into that, but I noticed there's a trend with that going on now. But
Oh, really?
yeah, like if you look in like people's bios, like even like when you see on like social media women's bios, it's all like Bible quotes, living for
Um,
him and through him. And I just feel like, all right, you're living through him, and then you're off, thoughting around. And I'm just gonna say like, and it goes on both ways. Men are thoughts, and women are thoughts now. It's horrible.
I don't judge anybody. I think everybody should be free to thought around if they so choose, but I think they should do it ethically. I think that's the most important thing. I don't judge anybody for, their sexual preferences or their habits or whatever, as long as you're not hurting other people in the process.
Mhm.
But everybody is so scared to like be honest about that kind of thing that a lot of things get a lot of details get twisted and lies happen, and then that's where we have the conflict because nobody's being truthful.
That's
But yeah,
true.
I don't judge anybody. I don't think anybody should be judged for their sexual activity. Just be truthful.
Yeah, well, I do to an extent. Like, I think it's the deception and I'm not going to be in a line full of 100 other guys. It's not happening.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah,
happens. What
yeah,
do you do?
yeah. No, no lines here. Only one. That's all I got to say. So when we look at what you have going on, you've been really performing early on since some of these fashion shows early on. So what was the most notable fashion show, especially with songs with Carl Kanai and things like that? So what were some of these early fashion shows you were performing for?
Oh no. I used to sing at my high school's
That was your high
fashion
school
show.
fashion show.
Yeah. And the Carl Kanai song is a song that I have with Jamonte Ogbon.
Hmm.
And he named the song, I believe it's called Telfar and Carl Kanai. But I haven't performed on any real like runways yet. That's something I would love to do in the future. But when I performed at fashion shows, it was definitely like my 11th, 10th grade
Oh, that was
high
real
school
early on. Yeah, I was reading about that.
extracurricular. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah.
Yeah, see, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, and especially with breaking into the high school circuit, and then just moving on to I Digress was an important release to you. So what were you kind of going through at that time with that album, with I Digress? Because I feel as though with everything with you, it's a heavy statement and it's in short terms.
So I was actually going through a lot. I had almost died. I had gotten a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lung.
Wow.
And I was really sick. I was on bed rest for a while. And I was just like in a space where I wasn't really happy. I felt like my career was kind of stagnant and I was just like really depressed about it. Just a combination of things, wondering if I was going to be able to like be the same me post the health scare and everything. So, um, I Digress was music that I made like in the throes of my depression. A lot of, things that were going on in my love life and my personal life and just like again, like battling feelings of like imposter syndrome and like, negative self-worth and things of that nature. So when I made I Digress, or when I made Digress, the title track, I was sick with COVID and strep throat at the same
Oh.
time. And I felt really horrible that day. And I just was like, oh my God, I have to like get this out of my brain. So I wrote it down. I wrote a song. And even though I had I've lost my voice, and I still recorded the song and I sang through it. And I didn't think anything of it. My manager Marvel and I decided to just drop a bunch of loose singles. And the reception of that song really shocked me because people told me that they resonated with it in ways that I didn't even think were possible for me. Like people told me that song like helped them out of a really deep, dark place. And I was able to put together I Digress right before I ended up going on tour with Navy Blue. And we dropped it, and I was able to perform it live in different countries. I went to Europe, and it was like so surreal because the place I was in when I made that music versus the places it took me are just like complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And I'm just so grateful that I went through those things and I was able to document how I felt and express myself and make art because it really saved me. So I Digress was essentially me saving myself.
No, and I'm happy that you did, especially that you got through that. That's a living hell. COVID and strep throat. Ugh. Once they're bad on their own. At once it's both at once is crazy.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy that you got over that and you're able to still reflect and just go through it, especially put the pain in the music. That's important.
Yeah. My music is really my diary. All of well, majority of my music is super personal to me. I write about where I am right now, you know. I can't fake the funk. I can't pretend to be something I'm not because it's just so inauthentic. It's not I can't keep up a facade. I'm so bad at pretending. So all of my music is true to me, true to where I am in life and where I want to go, you know, just hopes for the future. And that's all I can give the people.
Mhm. And speaking of diaries, you used to kind of have your own, especially when I think it was Aphrodite diaries that you used to have. So, what was for the name change? Because it was Aphrodite early on. What was with the name change to
Yes, so I
what you have
used to
now?
go by the Aphrodite.
Hmm.
And I think it was just really hard for well, the spelling was complicated because the O was a zero, and then it was not just Aphrodite, it was the Aphrodite. And
Hmm.
it was like a whole thing where people kept getting my name wrong, and it was just hard to like explain it to people. And eventually, and also when I meet people, I introduce myself as Kelly because that's my actual name.
Okay.
So like I was just like, you know what? Maybe it's time for a change. I had been the Aphrodite for like 7 years. And I just felt like it was time to break away from that. And also with that name, you kind of get like put into a box as far as like what people think would be the type of music you make. And I just didn't want to be pigeonholed, you know? So I definitely wanted to break away from that. And I just went along with my name, and Moonstone is one of the birthstones for June. And it represents new beginnings, um, success in love and business endeavors, and just starting over, which is my whole thing. So I just felt like it was super fitting. And honestly, ever since I changed my name, I mean, my trajectory has kind of, you
It's
know,
gone up.
yeah, it's definitely gone up, and I couldn't be more grateful. I love my name. I love who I am now. Like I said, I feel like I've found myself, and I'm more confident in myself. And that's so important to me to know who you are, um, because especially in this industry, you can lose yourself and you can get lost very easily, especially if you don't have like a solid circle, and a solid foundation and a solid knowledge of self. So I know who I am now, and
Hmm.
yeah, I feel good about it.
No, I'm happy. You got to know your worth in this industry because a lot of people are going to try to reject you, play you, and at the same
Hmm.
time, you have to keep to yourself to know that you're better than that and that you belong where you're heading and where you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely the mindset that you have to have. So, I wanted to go a little bit earlier too into the music because you're also into production. So the
Hmm.
piano, you used to play the piano. So how hands-on are you once it comes to the production? Do you kind of make the own instrumentals and things like that, the live music at
So
times?
so I do produce. I started. I wanted. Well, as far as piano playing, I was playing piano when I was around like 8 to 10 years old. I was very like I have undiagnosed ADHD.
Okay.
Is the only way I can explain it. I was a very like easily distracted child, and if I'm not great at something immediately, I want to quit. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in piano lessons, I went through like 3 piano instructors, and like I know how to play things by ear, but I suck at note reading. I hated note reading because I wasn't good at it. So I eventually quit, you know, but you know that musicality stayed with me, and I do, you know, still play things by ear occasionally. And I think just like having an ear is such a valuable thing, because it stayed with me and it carried me through. And when I started production, I want to say I started producing in like 2021. Um, I made a lot of music while I was living in Harlem, and I just kind of honed my craft. You know, a lot of it was like arrangement at first, and then I figured out how to sample and you know just played around with a lot of different sounds and different things. And a lot of those beats that I made, later on ended up being on I Digress.
Okay.
So this time around, I only produced one song on this album, New Moon. And I sometimes I like to produce it, but I really only produce for myself. Like I don't feel like I'm not the type of person who's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send you a beat pack or whatever. Like all my music, I made that music because I couldn't find the sound I was looking for when other people sent me beats, you know? And now I feel like I've widened my community. I've met a lot of wonderful people like Two and Two and Kaylin Ellis and DeP and so many other great producers, Captain Pigment, so many other great people who have great sounds that kind of encapsulate what I was going for. So I didn't really feel the need to commandeer everything myself and like I released a little bit of control and like allowed myself to collaborate because I love collaboration. I think collaboration is like the essence of music, coming together with unique perspectives and making something beautiful, and I feel like we did that with this album. So
Uh, I'm looking forward to it. What do you think is going to be the big? Because we already heard the first two singles off of it so far. So what do you think is going to be the big one? Which one do you think is going to be the one to really pop?
so I do have a song with Marco Plus.
Okay.
And I do have other people on there, but I don't want to announce it yet. I want to surprise everybody. But me, Marco Plus, and another great set of musicians, and it's such a good song. I'm so excited for people to hear it.
I'm looking forward to it. I could just tell, even just with the two singles that I've heard so far, I could tell it's gonna be something special. And it comes out the 22nd next week.
Yes.
This month is blown by. So do you have a tour lined up already? Some performances lined up with the new album?
Unfortunately, I don't have a tour lined up yet, but I am hoping to travel more in the fall and do some more shows. So fingers crossed, people need to book me.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I would love to travel and perform more as well. But I've been, like I've been in talks, so there are conversations happening, just waiting for those things to get like confirmed and penned. So,
Mhm. Where do you want to perform most? Do you have that goal in mind, maybe on a vision board?
so I would love to go overseas. I would love to go back to London. When I was on tour with Sage, we went to London, we went to Amsterdam, and we went to Berlin. And I would just love to go back to those places. I would love to go to Paris. I would love to go to Switzerland. I would love to go just everywhere. And then as far as the United States, I would love to perform in New Orleans because we stopped in New Orleans on tour, but we didn't perform there. So I would love to do a show there. I had so much fun when I performed in Atlanta. I would love to go back to Atlanta. But yeah, everywhere. I want to perform everywhere. I don't care if like it's a hole in the wall in Alaska. Take me.
Hey, that's dedication, not being afraid to perform anywhere. And I definitely, I think the overseas, especially with the music that you make, it overseas people, I noticed that they love that real music. I noticed that like we're slowly getting back to that, especially with the Kendrick Lamar beef that went
Mhm.
on and the Clips album that just dropped, and R&B's is been in a great spot. So I think we're starting to get the appreciation back. But I definitely think overseas is a great market.
Yeah, overseas is definitely tapped in, especially within my specific community. Like, there's a lot of artists that get a lot of love overseas, like Mike and Navy Blue and Akai Solo and Kia. And there's so many people that I know that travel and like get to like touch and reach the hearts of people that are not from here, and it's really cool to like go over there and see that people know who you are and know your name and really listen to you and are your fans and want to buy your things. Like, that's so important as an artist, when people want to like support you, not only like vocally and like listen to your music, but they want to financially support you. And like that's how people really believe in you and your art. So it's just a wonderful thing, and I can't wait to get back out there and like meet my fans and have that experience again. So
No, I look forward to seeing it. I know it's going to happen. So, what about the label? Are you, because you're independent right now? So, are you looking to get a label deal? Or are you fine with just being independent?
I take things as they come to me. I'm not really looking or seeking anything in particular. I just want to create good music. And if I do come across a deal that works for me, then it just the most important thing, and me and Marvel always talk about it, is what is this doing for me? I'm not just gonna sign to a major just because it's a major. I don't want to find myself in a in a position where my art is being compromised. I don't want to find myself in a position where I am not able to control the quality of my art. You know, that's all very important to me. And, you know, just having, knowing your rights and having, possessing rights to your music is of the utmost importance. So I'm not opposed to signing anything. It just has to make sense. So yeah.
I agree. Yeah, especially during these times, and it's like the independent era.
Absolutely. I love being independent because I feel like I don't have to answer to anybody. I just can make whatever the hell I want, you know? And if I do sign with anybody, it has to serve me. I'm doing this because I'm the boss. Kelly Moonstone LLC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got your
So,
that's important. Yeah, you got your own LLC. That's so important to have that people may not even know about. And you already got that down packed. So you mentioned runways earlier. So what do you want to do integrate into the fashion game that we may not have? What's your kind of style that you want to put into the industry that we may not have, or even an old trend you want to bring back into fashion? What's something that you want to implement into the fashion game?
I mean, if I was to implement anything into the fashion game, it would be inclusivity for plus size people because I
Mhm.
am a plus size woman. And I find that a lot of the brands cater to certain sizes, and that's okay. Everybody has their thing. But if I was to contribute anything to the fashion world, it would be fashionable clothes for people that look like me.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, as far as like my art goes, I would love to integrate my art into that somehow. And I think I want to do that with my, you know, with merch when that time comes, like making physical merch. I want to be size inclusive and I want people to have access to things that, you know, are not normally given access to, like for my type of, you know, my build and my type of people. And that's really important to me. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like plus size people are people and we should be treated as such.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And how about other avenues of entertainment? Have you thought about doing voiceover, movies,
Oh
things like that?
yes, yes, yes. I would love, 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 love to do voiceovers. I actually, when I was in high school, like before I decided I wanted to be like a singer full time, I wanted to go to school for um communications and journalism, but I really wanted to be a radio show host because people always tell me that I have the voice for that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then like I think it would just be fun to like voice a character. I can be really animated, like I can change my voice. Like my friends always tell me my voice changes when I'm drunk or like when I'm just being silly. So I would love to voice a character one day. I don't know what that future holds, but I would love to get into voice acting or even like doing voices for like commercials or like being the jingle lady, like whatever, you know, I just love that kind of thing. So I would love to get into that field. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you got the music down pack for jingles. I definitely want to see. I don't know. You never know. Cartoons, video games, something.
Right.
There's opportunities out there. Voiceover is definitely an underrated form of film, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it brings it to life because people may not realize that whatever you watch, like when you're younger watching cartoons, people actually think like those are, cartoon characters talking, but there's people in a microphone in a studio recording
Right.
behind it, bringing it to
Hmm.
life.
Absolutely.
Fire. So what else do you have lined up? So how about visuals for the new album? Are we gonna be getting some new visuals too?
We are working on visuals right now. We're fleshing out some treatments and stuff, but I do plan to shoot some stuff very soon. I'm not really in a rush because I want the product to be a quality product. I want it to be intentional. I want it to be thought out. But there will be visuals, 100%.
No, it's gonna be fire. This new album, it's gonna be really special, and especially with learning about the gift. And you mentioned it earlier of just playing by ear. That's a gift because a lot of times people are reading by notes. So when you don't have to go by the notes and you could just play, that's definitely a sign that you're meant to be doing this.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert, you know. I just do my little, you know, da, 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 da. And that's the best I can do. I definitely don't want to over overstate my expertise. I am still learning. I'm trying to learn new things every day. But there are people out there that just have the ear that can play all types of things and I aspire to be like them. So
Yeah. So what's going to be on the horizon? What else do you have on the way besides this new album? What else you got in store for us?
well, you know, I'm taking it slow right now. I love to like put my all into what I'm currently doing. So my main priority is making sure I put out a great product, a great body of work, and seeing how long I can leave a lasting impact on my community and the world. And I'm just taking my time. So I'm not rushing. I know that after this I will put out another album, but I'm not there yet. So I don't know how to answer that question without,
Yeah.
embellishing. And I never want to embellish. I'm taking my time. I have to live life to make the music. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's what we get with your music for every release, and especially with the new moon, August 22nd. That's when it's going to be released on all platforms.
Yep.
Is it true? Because I was reading online. I don't know if this is true or not. You have a podcast, is that right?
No, I
No,
don't
you
have a
don't. Yeah, I saw that online. It said that you had your podcast, so someone must have wrote something wrong on there. I wanted to fact check that when I saw that because I
interesting.
was looking for it and I couldn't find anything. And but
Hmm.
it said you had a podcast. I was like,
That's news to me. I wouldn't mind having a podcast. I mean, I like to like do my little like rants sometimes. I've been getting more into like going on TikTok and like doing like short form rants or like just posting about things that like not bother me, but like things that I could definitely complain about for a minute, So I've been kind of like getting into the habit of that, but I would be open to doing a podcast. I've been on some podcasts, um,
yeah.
but I haven't started my own. Honestly, I feel like we're oversaturated with podcasts.
Oh, I
There's
agree.
so,
Don't get
there's
me
so
started.
many.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that would happen, but maybe in the future.
Yeah. No, hey, you never know. Maybe something that you could try out down the line. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this new album, New Moon,
Thank
August
you.
22nd. And you got the two new singles out now. You could go check those out. IKEA, Nana, and a Boo Boo right there.
Hmm.
Those are the two newest ones. So, anything else, Kelly? Anything else you want to let your fans know that we didn't touch on tonight?
Um, well, I'm just really excited to share the music. I think it's my first concept album. And it's like it's heavily inspired by anime, which is probably one of my favorite forms of art, media, whatever. And it's really cool how I blended everything together. It's a really immersive experience, and I just want people to sit with it, enjoy it, listen to it from beginning to end, and just meet me where I'm at inside my head. So, but yeah, New Moon, August 22nd. It's really cool, and everybody should check it out if they get a chance.
I agree. Yeah, make sure you go download it, really support. You want to buy it. You stream it, it's important, but the downloading is what really
Yeah,
supports the artist.
buy
Yeah.
it.
The money, it's all about the money.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, a creative's got to get paid. There's nothing wrong with saying it.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, Kelly, it was great talking with you. I'm looking forward to the new album.
Thank
You're always
you. It's
welcome
so
back
fun
on the
talking to you
show.
too.
Yeah. Thank you to Sean as well. That's my guy right there. Sean
Yes,
Wiggs,
we love Sean.
co-sign. Love Sean. Yeah. Anytime. And let them know they can follow you on Instagram, X, all your platforms.
Yes, you can follow me on all the things at Kelly Moonstone. I don't know if you can see my little name there on the bottom of the
All
screen.
right there. Hmm.
Yeah, at Kelly Moonstone, all one, no dashes, no underscores, just Kelly Moonstone on everything, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the things. So
There you go. Make sure you give her a follow and stay tuned to this upcoming album. It's going to be fire.
yes.
All right, Kelly, take care. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.